since take.
I just got the. Oh wait.
He probably did get invited. He just didn't mention it in the video. But it was a quickie as it was like an 8-minute video, and he's gonna do a lot every December. He does like a big he watches like a whole like franchise or like director. So this past December he watched every M Night Shyamalan movie, which was very interesting to hear his takes on it because he like adores Unbreakable. It's like it's like his top 4 like letterbox movies. But he hates Glass, so whatever. Um, anyway, I guess we'll talk about it more in December when he watches every Superman movie.
Okay.
Dan, you ready?
Yeah. All right, we're live. Remy, can you just talk real quick? I just want to make sure.
Dan, do you think he's having the same issue I did where he may be on browser and he might have to install the app?
That's probably 100% what it is.
I feel like you've been on the app the entire time we've done this.
Yeah, it's 100%. Hold on.
Nah. Is he frozen for you, like camera-wise?
Yeah. If you're on the web browser and not the Discord desktop app, I would probably just use your phone again. TBH. Yeah, that's 100% what it is. And you know what? I think he may or may not be using a computer owned by a company. So I don't know if he wants to download.
Oh yeah, I think he said that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what else is new, Dan?
Well, folks, look out for Eyes Wide Watch Club, or no, what is the other one? No Signal. Look out for No Signal this week.
Oh shit, we're live, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll talk about it a little bit here. So at work, like I really do want to start. Like I want to start creating content, for lack of a better word, because it's 2025. Like, I do this obviously with you guys, but like I need to do some more creative outlet.
Tell me, make some time. Tell me what you want to do, and I will help you with all of it. And I will make you things, and I will say, here's what and make it as easy as possible. If you want to do a stream, if you want to do a video, I will show you all of it, and you could do it.
I took like for like 45 minutes at work today, dude. I just stopped like working because I just could not focus on like my job and just brainstorm like what I want to do. And then, I'm in a union, so we get like 15-minute breaks. Do you get breaks? How does your job work? But like, I'm in a union, so we get like a 15-minute break in like the before lunch, 15-minute break after lunch. So like, and we have to take them. So like, I just took my break and just like brainstorm some more, and I have this whole thing in my brain now. So I'll talk to you about it later.
I'm on mode now.
Okay, yeah. Is that better?
Fine.
Yeah.
You're in the dark, but if you're okay with that.
I think he looks better than he did before, honestly. He was like really green and grainy before. He looks better now. He's just like
because the sun hasn't gone down, and that's usually where I sit. But here, I can turn on my light. Just
you don't have to. I don't care. You don't have to, but it's up to you.
I'm just really fucking dumb, guys. Like, I'm done with technology. I'm done with all this bullshit.
Do you live in an old building where there's no light on the ceiling?
Yeah, there's no light on the ceiling. We just have like So my roommates moved in before me, and I was the one who agreed to bring all the lamps and stuff. So the living room
just lived in the dark before you moved
for like
in?
the first couple days, because they were like, the living room gets like really scary at night.
They're just when you get there, they're speaking the way Nosferatu speaks, and Nosferatu.
Yeah, so we don't have like an overhead in the living room. There's overheads and everything else, but the living room.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned how when I was like browsing houses because I was going to buy a house, like that was my one like non-negotiable was like, no, we need ceiling lights, or I'm not buying this fucking house. Like I'm not doing that. That's stupid. I understand why we ever did that, but whatever. And my house is old. My house was built in 1890. It just happened to be renovated like 15 years ago.
So should I just download for the future? Just download the Discord app? Is it better?
If you can, because I was telling Dan, I was on browser because I just had I had not updated my OS in like years because my computer was quite old, and I finally did. And I was like, oh, I can install Discord now, and I did, and immediately fixed my delay, like literally instantly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting pissed, so I just disconnected.
Sure.
But no, the reason why it took so long is that because
we're alive.
We're live, by the way. Don't talk.
Well, turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off.
All right. Hold on. Well,
Dan, put up
Wait. There we are. Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Eyes Wide Watch Club. I'm your host, Dan Ivy, here with the crew. We got Gene, Blandon, and angrier every day, Remington.
Wait,
and
is
he
my
is
full government on this thing? Jesus Christ, Dan. I don't know.
It's you're always you. Yeah, we are here today, folks. It is July. It is summer. We got Zoran. Is that how you say it? Zoran coming into power in New York.
Mangani.
That's right.
Assuming he wins the general, but yes.
Assuming he wins the general. Yet, that's right. That's right, folks. Here in New York, it's all going down. But today we are here to talk about a much colder movie, some might say. The Hateful Eight, 2015, directed by Quentin Tarantino. Gene's pick. So Gene, why don't you start us off, baby? Introduce the film. Why'd you pick it? So on and so forth, and what you thought about it. Yeah, go ahead.
What color are those red fire trucks? Okay, yeah. So I picked the Hateful Eight because I just never watched it. I like Tarantino quite a bit. I've seen the hits, of course, but this one was a gap. And I've watched Django Unchained quite a few times, and I've watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I notably just did not watch the one between those two. So this was a great opportunity for us to watch it. As we discussed, Dan has seen this movie, I'm assuming a few times, right? I know Dan quite enjoys it, but Remington had not. So which cut did you guys watch?
The original, theatrical.
Yeah, same.
Okay, perfect, because I did as well. I just didn't have time for the extended cut. Apparently, there were two theatrical cuts. You guys may have seen that.
Yeah, there's like a roadshow version that he did. Also on Netflix, that he released it as a miniseries, so it's like even more extended in that way.
I've seen. Well,
both. So the one on Netflix, that wasn't the roadshow one. That was the one we watched, like the movie, the full runtime movie one. That was the theatrical cut, not the roadshow one, to my understanding.
Yeah, because the theatrical is like 2 hours and 48 minutes. The roadshow one's like over 3 hours.
I read that it was 2 hours and 52 minutes.
Am I just remembering?
Because then the Netflix one is like 4 hours because it's 4 episodes, about 50 minutes to an hour each.
That's the miniseries. Yeah, that's the one he released as a miniseries.
Okay. All right, we'll get to that.
I didn't watch the miniseries. I'm saving that for another time. But
yeah, I'm gonna set the movie up a little bit. So I do find the production pretty fascinating before we talk about how we feel about it. So notably, from what I read, Tarantino approached this one like a stage play, and I read a lot of the reviews noted that and Remington probably could talk about this more because you're more familiar with stage productions than I am, I would assume, and you've been in plays and stuff. A lot of critics noted too, like it plays like a stage production. Like when you're watching it, in the way it's broken down, the pacing, it's a lot more stage production wise. And Tarantino has talked about wanting to adapt it as a stage production, and so notably, there was like a script reading of it. There were the original draft script was read. To my understanding, I don't know if that's something that was leaked. Right, there was like a leak of the script.
Mm-hmm.
So they read it at a theater in Los Angeles, and then he changed the ending because the original ending is quite different, and that's the version we ultimately got. Right. I also read that originally the intent was a sequel to Django Unchained, which would explain the time period. And basically, as he wrote it, he realized like this doesn't really work as a sequel to Django Unchained. It's kind of its own thing instead. And so basically, this movie exists in a few different iterations, right? The original draft, the original stage reading of it, and then we got the movie draft, but these two theatrical cuts, and there's an extended 4-part miniseries. So, which I find pretty fascinating. I know Tarantino. He wrote a novel version of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I have it. It's pretty interesting. And Tarantino is very interested in writing just in general. So actually, this is actually one I wouldn't mind seeing. Like, I don't know. I feel like he would love to. I could see him releasing like a novel of this movie, but whatever. So anyway, they make the movie, and I talked about it a little bit when I introduced it last episode. There's some criticisms of it. And while generally liked, it seems like people don't hold it in the same esteem as like Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction or Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, right? That being said, I quite enjoyed it. I'm actually glad I watched it after Hollywood. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but I generally enjoyed it. It's kind of a slow build, but I actually quite enjoyed that. It's very like bottle episode-y in a lot of ways. Again, it's in mostly one setting, which lends to the whole stage production of it all. I really enjoyed it overall. Like I'll talk about that more later on. But yeah, I want to hear some initial thoughts from you guys.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
So I'm very familiar with this movie. Obviously, Tarantino is my favorite director. I'm a degenerate. I'm a basic bitch. I love Tarantino. Kind of like shapes my whole taste in movies in a lot of ways. I love the westerns. I love the way he's able to build tension and just make you so engaged in just people in rooms talking. And the dialogue, of course. So yeah, I love, and obviously just his homages to older cinema that I'm just not as versed in. Yeah, I love all of Tarantino's movies. So the funny thing about The Hateful Eight is, I actually think The Hateful Eight is the movie I have rewatched the most in my life. I put on The Hateful Eight very often, like in the background, put on scenes. It's because partially it's been on Netflix, I think, since its release. I think I've seen it. I think the first time I saw it was when it was originally released in 2015, and I think it's even before the pre miniseries. I think that movie, I think it's lived on Netflix forever, basically. So it's always one of my go-to, just throw on in the background movies, and something about it. So like Gene kind of alluded to, it's definitely one of Tarantino's most or least talked about movies. Kind of just oddly overlooked in a lot of ways, because it came out, when you look at actually his filmography, it only came out like 3 years after Django Unchained, and that makes more sense that it was meant to be a sequel. So it kind of just got overlooked with how much people were already like enjoying Django so much, and Tarantino doesn't drop so often. But I think this is just ironically such a warm blanket of a movie to me, despite how cold and cruel it is. I wear this movie like a blanket. I actually think it's not in my top 50 right now, but I think it should be, because I think this is Tarantino's most rewatchable movie. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I think because when I put on something like Kill Bill or Pulp Fiction, my favorite movie, I kind of got to lock in. Like, Pulp Fiction, I'm so familiar with, I could put on any scene. But Hateful Eight, because it is like a bottle, because it is like, like a stage play, just a very like in a cozy cabin, I can throw on any scene at any point and just kind of like do other stuff in the background. I can kind of like, and I can always just lock right into it. Even though on this rewatch, even though I've seen it so many times, immediately I was actually like sitting down to watch it in full, locked in immediately. I was like about to get up to go to the bathroom, and I'm just like, just let me finish this scene out. I just, even though I'm so familiar with it. So yeah, I'm just gonna glaze this movie so much. I'm aware of the criticisms. And I can acknowledge them to a degree. I have a very cringy dynamic, interestingly, with the Walton Goggins of it all, which we'll get into. Okay. But yeah, so I fucking love this movie. I think it's amazing. Yeah. Obviously, but yeah, go ahead. I'm so curious what Remington has to say.
So when I went into this, I had a lot of high hopes. I really like Pulp Fiction. I really like Kill Bill Volume 1. I also really like Django Unchained, and I did know this was intended to be a sequel originally to Django, so I was like very curious to see where it was going with that. And when I was watching it, I would say like the first like the first quarter or so, maybe even the first third, I was like very engaged. I was like, oh, this is really cool. I like a lot of what is being set up.
I
I
know
like
where
that.
you're going with this.
So you know me, guys. I like a talky film. I like dudes talking in rooms. I like a wordy script that seems to be like reaching towards like drama and also like very clearly heading towards a singular direction where it's like we're assembling characters and then we're preparing them for like an eventual fight at the end. Like you can feel that tension building and that's the clear direction you're going. I was like, okay, I like a lot of what's being put down, so I liked a lot of like Mannix and Samuel L. Jackson's character, whose name is escaping me, the Major. I like their meeting with the Hangman on the road, and I liked when we get to Minnie's haberdashery, and there seems to be a mystery. Like, do we trust these men? Do we not trust these men? Who's telling the truth? Doesn't tell the truth. I liked a lot that there was these actors who I love and hold dear, like Samuel L. Jackson, Walton Goggins, Bruce Dern. I love Bruce Dern. I've been Bruce Dern build these last couple of years. He's so good in Nebraska. If you haven't seen Alexander Payne's Nebraska, he's fucking incredible. I've definitely gotten Bruce Dern pilled recently. All these great performances. Tim Roth, that's another big one.
Yeah.
So I was like pretty hooked. But then as it went along, once we start entering that like second half, that like those last 2/3, that's when it started to lose me because that's where I felt like, okay, so like clearly there are ideas in here, but I feel like almost like Tarantino doesn't know how to like deliver on them, to execute on them, and really he's just more comfortable reverting to form, which is just like sensation, shock, blood, gore, violence, and it's like, to me, it's a bit of a letdown. You have a lot of this like interesting dialogue and some gestures at interesting ideas, but there's not really like a lot of like delivery, a lot of follow through, and we just like devolve into people like shooting each other. And granted, that was signposted way in ahead, but I just feel like that fight loses a lot of like impact for me personally, and so I left this feeling fairly mixed. And in fact, it actually mirrors the way because in lead up to this, I actually also watched another Tarantino film that I wanted to watch for a long time. I watched *Inglourious Bastards*, and that I'd been wanting to watch all this year. With everything going on, the killing Nazis film. I was like really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And frankly, I kind of came away from *Inglourious Bastards* feeling very similar to this movie.
Yeah, I saw your fucking letterbox on that motherfucker, and I thought, oh Lord, I hope he doesn't bring this up. I'm gonna fight.
Yeah, I'm ready to fight. So like, I just felt like very mixed, like about both of those films. And I think it just opened up a way of viewing Tarantino where like. I guess I'm a little underwhelmed now. Like when he sticks in his wheelhouse more, I think there's some better stuff there. But particularly with this one, the Hateful Eight, like I don't think it's like upper tier Tarantino for me at least. And I haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I've been saving that. And I've been saving like Jackie Brown and Reservoir Dogs and such. But yeah.
How do you? Yeah, Dan, do you wanna?
No, I'm just no, it's just so interesting how fresh you are on Tarantino. My God, yeah, no, and I kind of knew exactly where you were gonna go with that. Yeah, because that's Remington. That's not a in common criticism is where.
Yeah.
I read the reviews.
Right. Yeah. I've actually I was going back just because I was bored after I watched it, and I rewatched Red Letter Media talk about it, and Mike from Red Letter Media had basically your same thing, where the characters kind of feel like chess pieces and they're all getting set up and they're all like these dynamics are getting set up. And then as soon as the camera pans down, very similar to Inglourious Bastards and the reveal of under the floorboards, it's literally like a click clack. This is a Tarantino movie, bitch.
Basically.
And it's like, but yeah, I live for that shit, man. And I'm and I get it, but it's, I get all of it. Like, that's where I'm like, and I can understand where that turns people off. I do. But no, I get everything I want. I get the crisp dialogue. And then to me, that's where the movie was boiling to. It's the tension. You don't know it's gonna release. The trigger's gonna be pulled, but you don't know how and where and why. And but yeah, I can understand that to be a turnoff for a lot of people. It just goes into a Tarantino movie. But
yeah. So. I mean, no, I'm glad you mentioned that, Dan, too, because I felt the same way. Like, when's the shoe gonna drop and we're gonna get full on Tarantino?
Yeah, how did you feel about it, Gene? Like, did you?
Well, like you said, once they pan down to, Channing Tatum's been in the basement the whole time, and say adios to your huevos, like, I'm like, okay, now we're there. And then for me, it was like, it just reminded me of how Once Upon in Hollywood. I won't spoil it for Remington. It does a similar thing. It's like, Dan, that third act, like that last.
There's always a shoe that drops, yeah.
Yeah, it's similar. Like, you're kind of building up for the whole movie, which was a difference because, like, when you're watching Bastards or Kill Bill, like, there's a lot more action sprinkled in, especially Kill Bill or, like, whatever. But I'm the same as Dan. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, no, I this is what I'm here for. like I love this dialogue. I love this build, but like,
I just don't think it. I don't think it works. Personally, no. I just think that, like, so, like, if we contrast this with his other films, like, take, like, Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction, yeah, there's plenty of violence in Pulp Fiction, but Pulp Fiction, it's specifically stylized like one of those magazines that you would have read back in the day, which are like that. They're these seedy stories, with, like, catchy dialogue and just a lot of sex and violence, and it's like, so you're bought in just on a conceptual level already. It's interesting because of the nonlinear plot line, but like, you expect, like, little stopping points of violence, like little interruptions of violence. So it's fine and it works. Kill Bill is like hyper stylized, interesting violence. Like, so again, there's no, what you signed up for when you went and watched it. You know what I mean? Django, which is probably the closest to what Hateful Eight is, works because I just feel that there's a better payoff here, because it's like, yes, it ends with a big crescendo of violence, right? When we're just, like, killing all of the slavers and the people who are loyal to them.
There's a catharsis.
It's a catharsis because the characters go on a journey specifically to exact revenge. You know what I mean? And so you finally get the payoff to that revenge. Whereas, like, well, yeah, you kind of know there's going to be a fight. The way that it's executed is by some other character who just shows up out of nowhere, and we just have to, like, justify that on the back half, and we do so in such a hackneyed way where we're just killing off characters and not really delivering on like set up dynamics before. Like I just don't. And the way that he tries to tie it all back to, like, the first part of the movie is with this, like, corny, over the top, like, hanging scene where they're like, where now the Southern racist has united with the injured black veteran and they hang the bitch. Someone who has nothing to do with the racial conflict that's been set up at all. That's not anything that she's connected to. It's not really what her priority is. Yes, she's racist herself, but she's not part of any of the systemic issues that are being raised, has no connection to any of the systemic issues that are being raised throughout the film. And it's funny because if you go back to those reviews in 2015, many people who said what I said, and they were just living in, like, post Ferguson times, post Trayvon Martin times. And I really think, 5 years removed from the uprising in 2020, I feel like those criticisms are even more potent because it feels even less true, even less insightful, even more, dare I say, cowardly, in its ability to say anything and deliver on anything of substance, of meaning. So yeah, I do think it's a lesser work from him.
That the hanging warmed my damn heart. But go ahead.
I don't know. I disagree in a way. Like I feel like Tarantino, like he got his power, man. Do you think so? His power? Hold on. Sorry, I remember just texting me saying asking me about power, and I think she might have.
But Remington, I take your point. I think I understand where you're coming from. I do.
I get where he's coming from too. I just don't think like I don't know. Like he touches upon it, like with the Lincoln letter, where Sam Jackson explains like the reason I lied about it is because you kind of he talks about how like it kind of gives him like I'm gonna go like a white people pass like with white society, and he explains that. He
says it got me in this cabin, didn't it?
Yeah, it got me in this cabin.
God, I love this dialogue. Sorry.
Yeah, but okay, so that's there, but really all that's done, the whole purpose of that is to just set up the fact that Samuel L. Jackson's character, Major Platt, is his name? Marcus Platt? Is that his last name?
Let's just call him Major. Yeah, I forget his name too.
It's set up the fact that he is tricky, right? That he is good at lying. That's really all that's there for a screenwriting purpose. Like, yeah, I don't know.
I disagree with that. I think it's just kind of showing you like he knows the score because he talks about how like back in the Stagecoach when Maddox is talking about his escape from the prison and he burns it down and it probably killed a bunch of Union soldiers, but then he talks about like they still valued his skill in combat, and then especially he touches upon about like he's very good at killing like Native Americans. Like it's kind of touching upon like you're still valuable in that way, right? I think it just adds to the point where like even after all that, like he's still an African American, and everyone calls him the N-word in the movie, so he just feels like, listen, I have all these war decorations, and I was valued as a Union soldier, but at the end of the day, I'm still a black man. And I think like I think it effectively gets that across, like without having to go much more than that. Personally,
I think, it's not very profound, but I think that, I think
to me, it's like, it's enough. Like I don't need much more than that.
It's like it got me in this cabin, didn't it? Like I did what I had to do. Yeah,
that's how I see it.
But
yeah,
all right, sure, but you also didn't have to put that in the movie if there was not supposed to be any larger significance to it, right?
Well,
why not?
Well, because but what you're doing is you're just saying, oh, well, just because he gestured it, that's fine with me. I wanted the violence, and I guess that's like a fine take if that's what you wanted from the movie. But what I'm saying is that I don't think it works from a screenplay point of view, and I just think as an overall film, these things are not okay. So these things are set up, and then they are not delivered on. So if the whole thing is that we're building towards a confrontation with this gang because they want this woman back. Well, that doesn't really have anything to do with any of like the racial tension that we're doing. That's like a side issue, right? So that's why I'm saying that really the importance of him unveiling that he forged the letter, that he fabricated the letter, is just that he's a good liar, and then we can use that later in other contexts when we're in the haberdashery. That's like the point of it. And it also
you wish that the gang tied in a little bit more with the commentary that was getting sprinkled throughout.
Exactly. And I think on some level Tarantino is conscious of this because it's like, okay, I'm feeling these things because I witnessed a lot of police violence in my country recently. So I am building on this in my story where I revert to my newfound beloved trope of the emancipated slave riffing on the spaghetti western, right? Revenge movie. But I also know that maybe I'm not the best person to talk about this. So I am just going to go to the violence now. But I need to tie it together so it makes sense as a story. So I'm going to have them hang. I'm going to have them hang the lady, and that'll do it. That'll put a bow on it. And it's like, I don't know, man. I just don't think that. I don't think it works. I also don't think that Tarantino, a man who loves putting the N-word in all of his movies, is necessarily for the best voice on this anyway. So I don't know. It's not for me.
That's fair. The one thing I would give you the most, like where I can see where you're coming from is, basically just the.
No, do you know what you have to do?
When Channing, wait, Gene, just mute yourself.
You have to. Am I muted?
No. Sorry.
You heard all of that.
Am I not muted?
No.
Am I muted now?
No.
Oh, hold on. I think I know what happened. I think it's picking it up from my computer.
There you go. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. No, the one thing I think I can get behind the most is just screenplay wise, Channing Tatum being under the floorboards. It's a little lazy. I can. That is the most I will grant you. Where it's like, yeah, it's a kind of a cheap, like, oh, he's under the floorboards the entire time. But when it comes to like the thematic, I think it's a very interesting thing that I never really have seen in a movie before. Where I think what he's really just doing, and I don't know, man. I just think it's. I don't know how to. I'm trying to think how to express it. I think sometimes filmmakers are going to tell these. I think it's more about just the dynamics between these characters. I think it's a very interesting setup of, because I was thinking about it. Oh, after the Civil War, it must have been kind of weird, like running into people, like soldiers fought against each other. And I'm not super like, what is that like? And like these different factions of armies fighting against each other now have to coexist in the same country, and they get snowed in together. And, you know, and there's like some interesting little tidbits on, you know, on like, you know, just the racial aspects, and no one in the movie is good. Sam Jackson's not a good person either. No one's worth rooting for. And
that was actually one of his intentions.
I think there is, I don't know. I just don't think it's not a very, I think there's interesting dynamics going on. Is there an overall statement he's making, or an overall, and if it is like, oh, like, I don't know, like there's these racist tendencies back in the day, like, and still maybe today, is it very profound? No, but I don't know. I'm satisfied with that. So I that's kind of, but I can understand if you think it seems a little cowardly not to have a stronger stance or something, or like say something more specific, I guess.
Yeah, to me, if you have something to say it. Don't like build up to saying it and then retreat to what you're comfortable to, and then not really say it, or say it in like the most unconvincing way after that. Like to me, that is not satisfying storytelling. And
sure.
Yeah, I do think, you know, sure, I agree. It is interesting to have a setup for like a coming fight, and it's placed along these like political and racial lines, and it's interesting to do that in the context of the Civil War. And I do think there was an intended statement there about the racial tensions that were going on in the country in the mid-2010s post Ferguson. And so I do think that's what the inspiration was, and I do think that's what he was getting at. It's just that I think he realized that he either didn't have a fully coherent message of what he wanted to say, or didn't have something that he wanted to say with his chest, and then he wimped out on it, you know, and he reverted back to form.
This is interesting.
So that's what I would say. And yeah, you know, like I saw these things being set up in the first part of the movie, and I was interested, hooked to see how they would pay out, and I don't think they cashed out. That's just where I land. I don't. For the record, I believe I gave it a 3.5 on Letterboxd, or was it a 3? I didn't hate the movie. I still had a fun time. Tarantino dialogue is still Tarantino dialogue. I think that Sam Jackson gives a pretty good performance. And that also Kurt Russell. I really like his character. So he's pretty good. I was like upset when he died. I was like, oh no more.
He's so
Russell.
good.
I was like, you know.
Also, Tim Roth is having a lot of fun in his role too. Like with the accents.
So you were looking for, you thought it was going to be setting up more of something to say with the racial dynamics, and you didn't get it, so that left you unsatisfied.
I feel like, I don't know, Dan, I feel like you and I just knew wasn't going to do that because like we've watched more Tarantino going into this.
Do you know what's?
Because I just didn't expect that. I'm like, it's Tarantino. He's not gonna go that deep into it.
Do you know what's funny, Remington, is you mentioned, everything going on in the time with like Ferguson and everything. I don't think Tarantino has that on his mind at all. I actually don't.
Yeah, I don't think either.
I don't think he thinks about that stuff at all.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I know that's not true, because if you just go to the Wikipedia, you will see that during the... he talked about it. And
I think it's bullshitting. I think it's just fucking lying.
No, I think that Tarantino thinks that he's cool with black people, which entitles him to then say the N-word as much as he wants.
I agree.
And so he thought that then I get to do the woke movie now, but he bitched out in the process of making it, and it didn't deliver. That's just what it is.
I do.
Him with the Pan-African headwear. What I'm talking about.
Just look up Tarantino code switching. It's hilarious.
Literally, that's what I think he's doing.
A dork, yeah. But he's cute with it. I actually didn't know. See, yeah, that is bullshit. See, I didn't know he actually mentioned that. Because I always saw, that is funny. Now I want to read that interview. That does seem like some hackney thing that he just said, but I don't believe he was actually. I think that might have just been a thing in the moment, and I think he just threw that in there. I think he is full of shit. Because it's funny. I just think he's a very, and but I kind of respect this in a way. Not that he wants to stay apolitical, but I just feel like he doesn't want to, because he's not. But I just don't think he wants to engage on a deeper meaning or like that. Yeah, which that
okay.
Sounds. But then don't
then
say
why,
it.
Okay, yeah. Then why put in your movie a scene where a character says, "Yeah, I faked this letter because it gets me into white spaces because white people don't trust me."
Yeah.
I do think he cares about that.
Your previous film and Django Unchained clearly try to give nuance to the black community of the time, where you have people who live in the house and therefore feel a certain attachment and loyalty to the master versus people who work in the fields and are more skeptical or hostile and more open to resistance, right?
Because that was a real thing though in history, right?
Yeah, but it's also a clear parallel, isn't it? So why include these things if there isn't a deeper meaning? No, I think that he's not stupid. He's a sentient man living in the same years and times that we are. And he obviously has opinions. He's on record saying he has opinions on these things.
I think sure. That, yes, I can agree with you with that. I just think, I don't know, man. Yes. I think where you and I differ is, which is fine. I just think just depicting something, I don't need him to hold up a sign and say, this is bad, right? It's just depicting.
I mean, he kind of did that in Django. There's the shots where you see the blood splattering all over the cotton fields.
Do you know do you know what's yeah.
I think because I haven't had a word in the past 10 minutes.
Sorry.
No, I don't disagree with Remington saying I definitely do think Tarantino he going from Inglourious Bastards, right? That's before Django, right? It was Inglourious Bastards and Django, then this,
Yes.
He very much was making a statement of listen, I don't like Nazis, I don't like Hitler, so I killed him in my movie. Slavery was awful. It's America has done some really shitty
Inglourious Bastards. Also, you to your point, but I agree with you.
Well, I'm saying, Tarantino clearly is listen, these are all terrible things, and I'm gonna use filmmaking to rewrite history and just kind of indulge onto what I think would have been cool to happen, right? And he's showing because everything they kept talking about Lost Cause and Hateful Eight, et cetera, et cetera. So I do think he's interested in portraying that and kind of using this medium to be I'm just gonna create a fantasy where you can just fucking kill Nazis and scalp Nazis and kill Hitler in a theater, and then have a black man bounty hunter kill all these slave owners, like to kind of show like, yeah, this is what should happen to them. But I do think like it does have a point where he's just kind of like disinterested, or maybe just doesn't know how to, reach like be more poignant with it, maybe a little more nuanced, and then he's just gonna go back to, like you said, like the comfort stuff for him, the shock, the violence. Which again, like I think, to me, going into this movie, I wasn't surprised that he hit that point. Like I was like, I understand Tarantino has like a level to, he can only be so poignant and so he can only critique so much and express that. After he's just going back to shooting people. That's what he wants to do. So I just maybe that's why I went into it that way.
You guys tell me if I'm wrong, but the sense that I get, my perception of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, is that he actually has a lot to say about Hollywood and the history of.
You have to watch it. You have to watch it. You have to watch it.
Is that wrong? Is that a wrong perception?
No, it's not. But like, there's the third act. I can't, like, Dan knows I'm talking about. Like, it's the most I will say is it does the revisionist history just like Django Unchained. And you have to watch it to see.
Okay, but that's also a statement, right? Because if you're going out of your way to deliberately change history to how a way you think it should be, there's an intent there, and we can analyze that intent, and it means something, right? Yes. So you bring up Inglourious Bastards. Tarantino is a Zionist, so he made Inglourious Bastards because, again, he fantasizes himself as being Jewish, and so he made his own Jewish revenge movie. That's what it is.
That's actually pretty funny.
And this seems to be a pattern of him appropriating other people's cultures so he can
he wants to be a black Jewish man. Crucify him, Remington.
Bloody movie, like it, so
but it's so
I don't know,
damn
man.
Fun.
Sure.
But I understand. See, it's funny. Okay. I think that all of everything you said is completely valid. I do think that. So yeah, I wish I knew that he said that about Ferg. Oh, that is such horseshit. Because yes, he does have a lot more, I think, maturity and introspection when it comes to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Because that is a very, and probably my least favorite favorite Tarantino, only because it is like a movie made for him. It is
basically most self-indulgent
because it's what he knows. He knows Hollywood so deep and so well, and what he's so passionate about from the 70s. That is where it is just so like more elegantly kind of and more depth like into what he's saying, as to where the historical revisionism, like, or whatever, of the Hateful Eight or whatever, the Django Unchained, Inglourious Bastards, the political commentary is, I think, good, but it's also very surface level. Hey guys, Hitler was bad, right? Racism's bad, right? And it's going no further than that.
And again, I just don't think he's the one who's gonna go any deeper than that, and I don't expect him to. I don't know if I want him to.
I think that's okay, and I don't know. Yeah, I get what you're saying, where you want more and you think it should be doing more, and that if he actually like cited a recent news event, that is bullshit. That is total bullshit. But so yeah,
I just feel like, if your defense of him is like weirdly infantilizing, where it's like, he has no thoughts and just does things, except for the one thing that he has thoughts about, and then does a thing. He has agency. He can read the news. He wrote a script that had someone talk about code switching. Like, I don't really,
I think there's value in, like, but he does what he does so well. Like, I don't know. I don't need it to have a very profound nuance. I get what you're saying. He's playing in like in those thematic spaces.
So you're saying you don't need the screenplay to be good. You just need.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't need the thematic.
You just need the vibe.
I don't need the thematic.
You don't need the themes to be like
super
that deep and to be super deep. Is what I'm getting.
But I understand if you're saying it's cheap, it feels cheap to you to only kind of scratch the surface and not do something a little bit more. I get what you mean.
And that could just be what we're looking for in a movie. Like Remington, like I don't know, like I may be wrong. Like whenever you and I talk about movies, I've noticed theme seems to be very important to you, and like a solid, not resolution, like a solid payoff, I guess maybe to themes introduced, or like it seems to be important to you in a movie. I don't know. I may be wrong, and maybe it's just not as important to Dan or I. Maybe I don't know. Because I do want to talk about Like I do want to talk about like what we did like about the movie too. I don't want to just dwell on.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll make one more point and then we can shift into other things. To me, because you asked if this was just an exercise in genre, I would be more forgiving on the screenplay. Okay. Right? Because like Kill Bill is not a profound movie, but it is an exercise in genre, and I love Kill Bill. I think Kill Bill is, particularly Volume 1, is so cool. But if you're going to, give me a movie which does seem to have things it wants to say, or at least thinks about in terms of the Civil War, in terms of racial tension, in terms of Black identity, all of these different things in terms of crime, right? Crime and justice. Then I damn think that you should deliver on it. And I think that you should say it with your chest. And I think that you should not bitch out in the middle. I'm grading you on a different scale. And if you're going to try to
pretty genre too, like I'm not arguing that. I don't know. Anyway.
No, there's genre there, but I would expect if you want to marry genre with a serious screenplay, I expect to see you deliver, and I expect to see a hearty blend, and I just really don't think that this happened to me. Okay. So that's why I would approach this differently compared to maybe some of his other works. I don't know, I haven't seen it, but like I would not treat, from what I understand about it, I would not treat Death Proof the same way that I treated this film. He's not like touching on racial tensions or anything. You're saying if you're gonna do it, don't be surface level. Do it.
I
understand that. I understand that.
Dan, I get what you're saying, but I do think it's important to maybe think about like how this movie exists, where it exists. So like again, this came out right after Unchained. It was meant to be a sequel. So I mean, that's probably why there's some like thematic similarities to it, right? I personally think of Tarantino as like you have like from Inglourious Bastards on, you have your more historical Tarantino, because like I mean, I feel like Death Proof, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, they're all set like the 90s, right? They're set when they were made, right? Dan, I could be wrong. But then you have like, then he kind of delves into this like, I'm just gonna play in history now in these different time periods. And you can see that in Hollywood. So out of my brain, I very firmly split Tarantino into those two main eras, and I just feel like that's why this movie, it's important to think about. Like, I think just because it exists right after Unchained, and because the original idea for it, I don't know, maybe this like those were still fresh in his head. Also, maybe he just had more to say about that, or just felt like there's more ideas for it. And before Remington, you probably saw the same quote then too. He talks about how he was inspired by like Bonanza and all these like Western TV shows, and how his whole thing of like, he didn't want to have a good guy. He thought about like, I'm going to have all these bad guys with ulterior motives and these shady pasts all in the same room. I want them all to meet. And I think that comes across really well too. Like I think that intention did come across very well. And
I just wanted to add one quick point to supplement what you were saying, Gene, is that keep in mind this debate over Tarantino's intentionality is not the sole way. Intentionality is not the sole way to read a film, because like artworks exist within cultural context, right? Sure. So the fact that he made this film, 2013, 2014, and then released it in 2015, you should read it in that cultural context. And what was going on in that cultural context was the nascent beginnings of a Black freedom struggle movement, right? Starting with the death of Trayvon Martin, and continuing on with the Ferguson riots and the Freddie Gray riots, and James Garner in New York City. and then eventually reaching its peak in 2020, right, with the racial uprising. So, you know, we can read that film in that context, whether or not Tarantino has said X or Y, right? Because he wrote a movie during that time and then released it during that time, and then it was perceived and engaged with by audiences in 2015, in knowing all of that, with that in the air, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, even subconsciously too. When he wrote it, he could have just been channeling some of his frustrations with what he was seeing on the
whether he knew it or not, right?
Exactly,
Whether
it's going to happen.
Yes,
and the fact that he did like quote recent news events, I didn't know that. Yeah, that is like, dude, don't do that. The minute you do that and say, "Oh, this was inspired by," nah, don't.
I mean, it's James Gunn saying how Superman is an immigrant story right before the movie came out. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, you do exist in a cultural context.
Yes.
So,
but anyway, if you wanna,
did you like anything about the movie?
Yeah, I just said like I gave it a 3.5. Like, I didn't hate it. I just don't love it.
Is there anything you did love?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk about
love.
I loved the picture. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. Like I'm watching it and I'm like, we don't have movies that have color like this anymore. Everything just feels so fucking like washed out.
Yeah. So when I saw, okay, all right. Jumping off that, but it ties into something that I love. I felt like I couldn't appreciate the cinematography personally, because I was like, oh, in Panavision, that's cool. And you can see it in certain shots where they're like outdoors and it looks gorgeous. But I ultimately felt like the intimate setting for much of the movie, whether they're in the stagecoach or they're in the haberdashery, it's just so underutilized that I feel like there's just not enough payoff to really want me to like feast my eyes. You know what I would want if you're going to be that.
The haberdashery, but the haberdashery is a stage. Like, it's like a stage, like that. You can visualize it like a stage blocking.
If you're going to use this film format that's specifically was invented for like spectacle movies in the 60s, right? For like these gorgeous panoramas, right? Then you should try some gorgeous panoramas. God damn it!
I mean, he did. I don't know.
One shot, and it was a like snowy tundra with two men walking in the distance. Oh, great. You know, so yeah, I felt like that was not enough. But tying into something that I did like about when I was watching the credits, I was surprised to see on the craft side, three big names. Well, one of them I already knew about, but the other two I didn't. So obviously, the one that I knew about, which I think is cool, is that Tarantino is able to get Ennio Morricone to make original music for his films. He did that for Django, and he did it for this. And I think that's fucking awesome, because I actually like old school spaghetti westerns, and that's where Morricone comes from. So that was cool. I like that. I like the score. The two people I didn't know worked on this film, which I also thought was amazing. Keep in mind, I didn't love all the gore in this film. It felt out of place. But once I saw who was behind all that gore, I was like, oh, that's interesting artistically. Greg Nicotero. Greg Nicotero was the special makeup supervisor, and I think also did a show running stint on The Walking Dead.
On The Walking Dead season 1, like the best episodes was Nicotero.
Yes. So like he did all that. He has some other like long list of credits of movies that he's done makeup for. In that similar capacity. And so he's an industry legend. And also the person who did the visual effects for this film, John Dykstra. I'm not familiar with. Yeah, you have to tell me more about that. He is an ILM veteran.
Oh, cool.
He did special effects for, I believe, only A New Hope, because infamously Lucas fired him after that, despite being one of the main reasons that they won an Academy Award that year. But they just didn't get along. He wasn't a good employee. Great VFX artist, special effects artist for that time. Not a good employee. But his other claim to fame is that he was the head of the VFX team who did Spider-Man 2, and they won the Oscar for that year too. So he is a legend in the special effects VFX world. So it's really cool. I don't know how many actual VFX shots there are in this movie. I don't know either. It seems like pretty well made practically. Like, I imagine it's a bunch of like little subtle things that we wouldn't pick up on. But if you saw like rough cuts, you would be like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. But
I can imagine some weather too. Like I'm sure.
Maybe there's like CGI snow.
Yeah, like it'd be very difficult to shoot, and like the shot where he has OB go and dump the key in the outhouse. Is that what it is? And like I mean, that would have been a bitch to shoot in.
So those are things that I liked. I already said that I loved Samuel L. Jackson's performance. And I liked Goggins' performance, and I liked Bruce Dern's performance. Not really a bad performance in the movie. Not gonna.
Did you like Jennifer Jason Leigh?
She did a good job with the character as written. I do not like the character.
Fair enough. Quick thing. So YouTube video I watched on it pointed this out. This movie seems to have a bit of homage to The Thing, which also starred Kurt Russell.
Oh, yes, I can see that. That makes sense.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty fun. And was it is it how you pronounce it? Is it Marconi?
Marconi.
Marconi. What is it? There was a few for like I guess like Marconi hit like he didn't really have time to finish the score, so he ended up using some unused work from 2 of his prior movies that he scored. I'm sure you probably read about that as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you probably appreciate that then. I don't know, since you seem to really enjoy him.
No, that is cool.
Yeah, here we go. Because that's another thing too. This one doesn't really have as many like needle drops, which I did appreciate given the movie's setting. I really liked that there was more of a score. Like, I mean, we had a few needle drops, sure, but I just really like. I don't know. I mean, you probably watched at least enough Tarantino now to be like, okay, the needle drops like one of his things as well, right? Very Edgar Wright, very James Gunn. But this one he did rein it back. Which, speaking of Superman, there's no needle drops apparently. It's all score, which I'm glad to hear. But we'll talk about that some other time.
And I also didn't hate. It's a little hokey, but I didn't. In execution, I didn't hate the like Tarantino narrating and being like they poisoned the coffee.
Oh,
it's
so hokey.
I didn't hate it.
I do wish it was established a little earlier, because it's kind of jarring when it comes in. But I didn't hate it either. I was like, it's very Tarantino.
Like I said, the movie didn't truly lose me until like that last third or whatever, when it became like, oh, this is a different movie. So because like I like his dialogue, I like I don't hate the wordiness, and it's very quippy, back and forth, quick. There's stuff to it. So like I said, it wasn't like a slog for me to get through. Like when I saw the runtime, I was like, oh no. But like that almost 3 hour long movie just flew by for me. Like very engaging. It
is paced well. I will give it that for sure. I mean, I personally really enjoyed, I guess, the twist. Like, I really enjoy when it reveals like, oh, Channing Tatum's been in their basement the whole time, and then we get the whole like, here's how this was set up. I really enjoyed that, and I mean, maybe I was expecting it, because I appreciate the mystery of it all. Like, where it's like, okay, like obviously, what is it? One of you guys is working with Demagogue, and I like how it's like, no, it's all of them. And I also guessed that, maybe Dan guessed this too, because like once you see Michael Madsen, you're like, oh, Tarantino loves putting Michael Madsen as part of a group of like antagonists. So to me, that was like a huge tell. Like, oh, he just loves doing that. So once I saw him, I go, like, it's he didn't Kill Bill as well. Like, it's all of them because Michael Madsen's part of them. So it's all of them. I personally, I don't know if you guys thought it that way as well, but to me, that was like a huge tell.
To me, I wasn't sure. I was like, I wasn't sure if they were all in on it or if these were actually like distinct plots. Like really only one or two of them were there to get her, and the shady, I'm going to say the shady Latino character. Don't cancel me. I don't remember his name. Senor Bob. There we go. Senor Bob. I was like, maybe is he in on it, or did he just like separately like
murder me,
and then just like take it over,
I thought that too, and I thought that was a fun little like misdirect, and
then it's like, oh, okay, someone poisoned the coffee, but is that really to save her, or is it just because they have like beef with what's with Kurt Russell's character because he's always drinking the coffee. Like I was like, it's like, are these distinct or are they actually all working together? I don't know. So I guess the reveal was authentic to me in the sense that I didn't necessarily have it together that they were all together. So I guess that didn't work for me.
Yeah, and what worked for me a lot too was the general, Bruce Dern's character. He's a general and a colonel. He's a general.
Oh yeah, he's a general. He's a general.
I do like how he's just like not even off. He's just caught up in it, and I do like how they're like, well, we need to have someone else here to make it look a little bit realistic. And he's just like, you know what? He's like, how he's like, I don't give a fuck about. He's like, I don't care about you. I don't care about any of these people in the fucking whole state of Wyoming. And Channing Tatum's like, good answer. Like I thought that was pretty. Like I had fun with that. You know, I like how he's like, I don't give a shit about any of this. I'm just trying to get the fuck out of here alive.
It's Bruce Stern's shtick. Like these are the types of characters he plays in this stage of his life. I don't know if it fully. Well, maybe it does. Like we have to like debate on like what's performative and what's real to the character. So like if we buy that he's truly in this part of the country, he's truly here in Wyoming because he's looking for. Well, he's here to like lay his son to rest, right? He bought a plot and he's going to just like put a symbolic headstone down. We buy that that's real. I don't really know. Like, yes, the racial resentment's real. I don't really know that translates into I am a willing participant in this plot to free this gang member. Like maybe, like I don't. And if you're just selling me, oh, he was doing it out of fear of his life. Well, I don't really think you see that. But he's like piss afraid when they're like confronted after they kill everyone. He's actually pretty like, okay, you can kill me. I don't really care. Or it's like, okay, I'll go along with it. Like I don't know. I don't know if that. I don't know. It feels out of character for him to join with them personally. But you go along with it because again, it's just Bruce Dern's shtick. Like the whole like everybody like that's Bruce Dern. You know. So that didn't fully work for me. Even though I could buy into it.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I like how like I like how like they tell him like when you see Roof, you do not talk to him, and then so that's the payoff from he's like you're a hyena. I just don't want to talk to you. Like I don't know. I found it like a fun way to explain why why he says that. And I didn't take it. I didn't see it as like he's working with them. It more like opportunity. He's just kind of like I'm just trying to fucking live here, and he still gets killed because he didn't anticipate the major being there, but I don't know. It was enough for me. Dan, you haven't talked in a while.
I mean, obviously it worked for me 100%, but no, I get it. To get into the characters a little bit more, I can give my whole like experience with how, because this ties into Walton Goggins. But so. Yeah, I saw this. I'm pretty sure the first time I saw this movie, I don't know if I saw it in theaters, but I saw it pretty early after it came out. I saw it pretty close to when it was released. And I think at this point, I was just still getting into movies. I knew I loved Tarantino, like, baby's first auteur, Tarantino. And I still haven't moved from that rock. But so obviously...
it's like me and Nolan.
Yeah, sure. But so at this point, Goggins was not the name he is today. I mean, it's only been in the last like year or two that he's really blown up. I didn't even realize at the time that he was already in Django. I didn't even put that together at the time. I didn't realize till years later.
Who's he in Django again?
He's the guy that threatens Django on the horse. I'm going to go dancing in the moonlight with you. It's a smaller role.
It's a very small role, yeah.
Okay.
It
was more of like it was like Goggins talked about it, how it was kind of just like one of those things in his career where it was like, hey, like, do you want to just come and do a quick small role? And he's like, yeah, like of course, like that. And he talked about how like that would have been enough for him if he never worked Tarantino again, right? But that kind of opened the door for this role.
Yeah, no, but so I feel like this is gonna sound like I'm fudging so much of this, but I promise you this is all true. So when I first saw this movie, this is going to sound so cringe. And to this day, I always say to myself, if I could ever play one character in a movie, I want to be Walton Goggins' character in the Hateful Eight.
Mannix? Okay.
Chris Mannix. I
can't wait to hear Dan say the N-word.
So yeah, in a Tarantino. So Sam Jackson to this day is my favorite actor. I have a very special place for Sam Jackson. And yeah,
like shit, Lord.
Yeah, and it was from when I was a kid, from when he first popped up in Revenge of the Sith and the prequels, and I was like, and it's kind of the Family Guy joke. Like, even when I wasn't into movies, it's like, have you seen any movie ever? He's the black guy, and that was kind of like, I always just was like, every time Sam Jackson pops up in a movie, I'm like, it's better. Like, I just love his presence. Is he the most versatile actor? No, but he has that presence and that personality, and he just, like, I feel like that man is like, I want that man to be like my grandfather. Like, I love Sam Jackson so much, and I would even argue he gives an Oscar-worthy performance in Django. He transforms in that movie to a degree.
He's so good in Django.
So good and effortlessly. Yeah. And he doesn't get the credit he deserves, and he's been doing it anyway. So
I think he does, but all right.
He hasn't won an Oscar.
No. Wow. And I would argue that Denzel's son, who directed Piano Lesson, kind of screwed over Sam Jackson. I say screwed over loosely, because I think like Jackson was happy to step out of the limelight for that movie and just be in the supporting cast. But basically, the way that movie was adapted from the stage play, it greatly reduced a lot of what's great about Jackson's character. A character which he originated on Broadway and actually won a Tony for back in the day. And it like takes a lot of what's great about that character and like disperses it throughout with other characters. So Sam Jackson's character does not stand out at all in that film, and so which is why he was like not paid attention to in awards. But the whole movie was a flop awards wise anyway. But still, like that could have been something for him. It wasn't quite there.
Yeah, he's just such an important part of film culture to me, and I've just always had such an affection for the man, and it's just like unbreakable, and he's just been doing it and he's never like the main guy. I mean, this is probably his biggest starring role, but like he's always like the best supporting guy in movie. Like he just fuck, man. And so anyway, I also am a big Kurt Russell fan. I love John Carpenter, The Thing, Escape from New York, LA. Like, again, schlocky shit. Like, I love like pulpy genre, and like Kurt Russell and
Sky High.
Yeah, of course, Sky High.
He's the dad in Sky High.
I know, who could forget Sky High? But so like these are two titans for me. Kurt Russell a little bit, but like They Live. Oh no, that wasn't Kurt Russell. But anyway, so when Chris Mannix comes up to the wagon, and he's like, "Is that you, Major? Well, I'll be double dog damned." And the dialogue, and I'm like, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy. And I said, and it's so funny. I have this like fan, and I like the first thing he says to Sam Jackson is like he hates him and he calls him the N-word, and it's just like, but in the end, again, like thematics aside, like they team up together, and like I'm just like, I just want to be him. I just want to be Chris Mannix, and he's easily one of the best parts of the movie. He's so I just love that he just shines so much in that Tarantino dialogue. And Major, I'll be a son of those Yankee sons of bitches. He's just, and I fell in love with Goggins so much. And I remember at the time I said, who is this guy? Is he the best? Like, he is just so made to be like a cowboy in the West. He's made for a Tarantino type movie. And
yeah,
his only other big role ever, really, he's more of a TV actor, was on this show called Unjustified, which I never got into, but I know he was like a big part of that I think it was like an FX or Hulu show, whatever. But yeah, and like I know it sounds like hackney, but like when Walton Goggins was cast in I think it was just mainly, what is he? It's just Fallout and the White Lotus recently, right? That
he's in Invincible.
The Righteous Gemstones.
Oh, what was
he's in Invincible.
Baby Billy Freeman.
Oh, he is in Invincible.
Dan. Oh, come on.
But
he's still in Invincible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But yeah,
Dan, his most popular character, honestly, right now has to be like, his Baby Billy character is so funny. It's like so wacky. Anyway,
yeah.
But,
So when like he was big, and like I remember when he got cast in Fallout, another show I couldn't get into, but I was like, that is the perfect cowboy character, and
he's
waiting
very good
for Hollywood to see that. And now like he's getting big, and I'm kind of like, I loved him in the Hateful Eight. I was there first before it was cool. Like, but I've always had such a warm spot for Goggins, specifically in this movie, and how much he flourishes with that dialogue and how fun and just being like coming up in the context of like coming up to that wagon, just walking into the movie and not almost like fanboying at seeing, like holding the lantern up, seeing Major and, well, I know you, kind of like me, just like, oh my God, you're like two of my biggest heroes, like in movies. And then like having to call Sam Jackson the N-word to his face, like, and then like a team, I'm just like, I don't know. I have such a weird connection to this movie in that way. Like it's so cringy, but I always say to myself, like, I don't know if you guys ever do that where you imagine like if I could play a character in a movie. Like I've always said, Hateful Eight, Chris Mannix. So that the movie holds a very special place in my heart for that reason.
Okay.
And when the movie ended, and I was like, oh wait a minute, and when Jackson has them all, because he's such a fucking boss, and he has them all like lined up in against the fireplace, and he goes, Chris Mannix, he goes, come here, and he goes, take that gun out of my holster, son. I just picture myself, and I'm like, Sam Jackson's telling me to take the gun. I become a school. I'm like, I superimpose my face on Goggins, and I'm like, that's me. I'm like that's, and he gets all, and even in the scene too, he gets all giddy with it. He gets cocky. He goes, yeah, that's right. I bet it was this some bitch. And I'm like, I want to be that.
He just has it out for Michael Madsen's character.
Right away.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to be him.
Even goofier, he's like, oh, I bet you believe me now that I'm the sheriff of Red Rock. He's like, no, but I know that you damn sure almost died drinking that coffee. So can't be you.
I love that we never really know if he's full of shit or not. Like, I'd like to believe he's like, and Kurt Russell the whole time, horse shit. It's so funny. This movie, I love it. Boys, I'm sorry, I love this fucking movie.
I think he was telling the truth personally.
I think yeah.
I think that the Hangman doubted him because the Hangman hates Confederates, and particularly like people who are raiders, and so he's just like inclined to disbelieve him no matter what he says. And I think that Mannix portrayed enough knowledge about like what the sheriff role would do to suggest that he knows something about it at least and has some involvement or connection to it. Now, typically, I would expect him to actually, even if he doesn't have the star yet, to have like a letter or something in writing saying like, yes, we the people say you are the sheriff, to show people as like proof. So that part is a little fishy. But yeah, I tend to believe that he is the sheriff.
I mean, I believe it too, Remington, because the way I felt he played the character in a way of like a character who was like, I fully believed in the cause and, like his admiration for the general, but he's at least more of like, we lost, whatever. I'm just going to go to, because, Wyoming was a territory at the time, right? So he's more of like, whatever, we lost. I'm just going to go to a territory and live out the rest of my days, right? This way, at least I'm not in like the Union proper and I'm not in the South, but I'm still here, Because he's not like the Major was like very kind of hostile to the general was very major to Sam Jackson's character, but Goggins' character at least seems to be more of like, whatever, I'll talk to you, but like he just
they were on the side.
Yeah, like he just gives me the very much like I think Goggins played that like, like at least accepted like, we lost, whatever, life goes on, right?
I mean, well, because like, they're on the same side. And to give context, and this is, not to get back into the previous arguments, but like in his capacity as a raider, Erskine's Boys or whatever they were called. I don't know if that was actually a real unit, but if you were like a raider, so that's like a paramilitary force. He was not a regular in the Confederate Army, and that functionally made him like a proto-Klansman.
Yeah.
Right. So like this is the level of like vitriol and like racism and violence his character is capable of. Which I think speaks to some of the issues that I would have. The fact that we can just let bygones be bygones by the end without really.
Is that a commentary on how easily we let the rebels back into the Union and how forgiving they were after the war? I mean, I don't know.
If it is, it sure isn't in that screenplay.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, I'm thinking about that now.
What I said to Gene, what you missed when I was saying to Remington, what I found especially on this rewatch, what I was thinking about was, yeah, it must have been a real, like, I haven't seen this in a movie before, of where, yeah, post Civil War, and I think it's only a few years after the Civil War ends.
Reconstruction, Dan. It's called Reconstruction, but yes, go on.
Fuck, the tensions must have been so high of, like, you have to be like, you meet
Reconstruction
people.
is a very interesting part of American history, and one.
Yes and no, Dan.
Yeah, I know nothing about it. I know nothing about
Dan,
it. Dan,
you've probably seen tweets saying, like, we were too lax on the former Confederacy and how easily we let them back into the Union.
Yeah, so, like, obviously on, like, the ground level, there were people who had, like, their beefs and their feuds and their prejudices that didn't really go away, but the country as a whole, the actual, like, guiding principle was
like the big picture of it all.
Move on, basically, to achieve a degree of white reconciliation, basically allow North and South to reunite at the expense of Black people, really. We
got Jim Crow and segregation. It just
exactly. So there was a lot of, like, so, like, in the North, there was a lot of, like, yeah, the South is weird, but we don't want to do the war again, and maintaining the occupation is expensive. We don't really know if it worked. So we're just going to look the other way and welcome our Southern brothers back to the table.
Besides, we've got native treaties to ignore and just take, so don't worry about it.
And in exchange,
westward expansion.
Exactly, yes. And in exchange, the South is like, well, we hate the North, but as long as they let us do Jim Crow and participate in, like, the booming economy and westward expansion, I guess it's fine. Yeah.
So, and then, like, one of the conditions was they had to ratify the Reconstruction Amendments, and that was, like, a condition to come back to the Union. But, like Remington said, they did, once they were ratified, the Union didn't really care about enforcing it all that much, which is how we got Jim Crow.
Right.
So it's like on paper, on paper,
you can only do so much, right? So, like Grant was of the perspective of, no, you fight the fucking plant, because Grant saw them as just a continuation of the Confederacy, which in some ways they were, right? They were literally Confederate soldiers who just decided to not stop fighting and just resorted to racial terrorism after the war was done. So, but, you can only do so much if, you have a Congress that is like, no, we think that the occupation should end because it's costly and we don't think it works. And we buy into a lot of the propaganda that's corrupt. And you can only deal with insurgency so long, right? And so it doesn't even matter if you bought into the idea of maintaining the Reconstruction programs. You're only going to get so far. And you can only get so far if you have a Supreme Court, which consistently was also ruling in this time where it's like, no, it's fine if you don't follow the Reconstruction Amendments, basically. So, yeah, it's an interesting time period, but literally the most damning thing of all, actually, is if you go to the in 1913, there was a 50th anniversary commemoration of the Battle of Gettysburg, where they invited veterans from both the Union and the Confederacy to, like, a celebration, I think in Washington, D.C., to commemorate it in 1913. It was, like, sponsored by the Wilson administration, etc. Like, notoriously peaceful. Everyone got along very well. Very friendly affair. These are people who tried to kill each other 50 years prior. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like, that should tell you what the cultural attitude was during that time, which is that, like, we want to move past this and we don't really care how we do it, even if it hurts Black people, basically, even if it means prove ourselves to be liars in our legal commitments and our constitutional commitments. So that's a lot of what was going on. But like, maybe there's something to circle back to the movie. Maybe there's something we could say about this. Maybe there's something we could do about this. And there's some setup, not really any payoff. Sure. At least not that's, like, satisfying or convincing to me.
Right. No, I get I totally get it. No, I understand. Yeah, no. Yeah, sorry, I don't really, but no, it's just very interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting of like just that, all of that history behind it. But yeah, God, I have like so many notes, but yeah, just a few things just to run through.
Sure.
I did like, or I always like, you know, especially if you're watching it for the first time, having seen Django before, especially the whole first chapter of the whole interaction. What I love so much, even if you haven't seen that movie, there's something about Tarantino where the whole interaction of the first chapter kind of feels like Django, where there's someone on a wagon and they pull up, and because you've seen what happens in Django in that opening scene, you kind of think like this could pop off at any moment. You don't know. So I saw that as a parallel, which I thought was interesting, of like another interaction where guys are just pulling up. Like, I believe that Kurt Russell could just shoot Walton Goggins at any minute, and like, or something could happen there.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. It's pretty much all I really have for that.
So
yeah.
Oh, you have another thought?
No, you go ahead. That was all I had on the first chapter.
So
yeah.
Piggybacking off of that, may I make a recommendation?
Sure.
So as you may or may not know, Django Unchained, it's inspired by several movies, but one of the big movies that it's inspired by is a movie called Django from the 60s.
The original, yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yes. I recommend that you watch that because actually watching a similar impression that you had, the opening to this film reminded me also of Django because, because you're opening up with so Sam Jackson, he's dragging the corpses of the bounties that he's like killed. So it reminded me a bit of Django because famously that movie, the titular character Django, he spends the entire movie dragging around a coffin.
Right. Okay.
And that's like one of his character quirks of what he's doing with that, and it's like a similar like hostile landscape kind of. And so I definitely recommend that movie.
Yeah, I have it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you would get a kick out of it, especially if you like those I don't know the adjective I'm looking for, but a lot of the spaghetti westerns. From that period.
Yeah.
There's another adjective I was looking for, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Oh, pulpy. Yeah, I'd like the Hateful. I mean, not Hateful. No, yeah. Good and the Bad, the Ugly is my second favorite movie of all time. I thought the opening scene, or wait, I don't know if it's one of the. I think no, it is the third movie. It is Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That opening scene is very much what Tarantino lifted for the introduction to, in a way, to Inglourious Bastards. Yeah, like he steals a lot from all those movies.
Oh yeah, he wears his influence on his fucking chest. Yeah,
but no. And then what second chapter. Most unbelievable thing in the entire movie is that Kurt Russell says that his character doesn't drink, which is like, what else is there to do post Civil War in Wyoming? I thought it was funny.
Funny.
I love that when just like the little things, like I have so many, I'm not going to go through all these, but like, yeah, just the little things of the dialogue. All of the best dialogue goes to Chris Mannix to Goggins. Y'all having a bounty hunter picnic? Then Kurt Russell wants him to like put handcuffs on, and then Sam Jackson just throws.
Jackson has some choice lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then and then
my big black dingus.
We'll get. Oh my God, how is it? You guys know this movie was made for me. But then yeah, just all of we could go on forever. Like, what, you bushwhackers, all the But yeah, then when they get to, I love when they get to the Minnie's haberdashery. Now I'm just like, I just want to say that. I'm just like, I want to like pull my overalls and just be like, Minnie's haberdashery. I've never even heard the word haberdashery before this movie. But
it's a place that sells like menswear, basically.
Yeah. Immediately, I think Jennifer Jason Leigh may give one of the best performances in the movie, even though just because she's so willing to go there with so many things, like the things that she's willing to do. But
she's fun in it. Yeah.
But even like when just little things, like when they start getting into it in the coach in the stagecoach thing, when Mannix and Jackson and Russell are all like arguing and stuff. Jennifer Jason Leigh like has a piece of jerky that she got, and she's just like chomping it. And they just would cut to her just like enjoying it, and she's been quiet for so long, you forget she's there, and then you're like, oh wait, she's liking this conflict. So yeah, just all those little things. Yeah, and then when they get to the haberdashery, man, Tim Roth, yeah, he is hamming it up. And when he comes in and he's just like, I didn't get your name, and it's certainly not Buster. Oswaldo Copperpot, or whatever the fuck he says, I don't know. And he's
Mowbray.
Like, yeah.
Mowbray.
And he goes, and then he's just like, Oswaldo, and he just goes, yes. And literally, I think he like twirling his mustache. I'm like, oh my god, I want to shoot this guy in that face. But yeah, so good. I did find I really liked his little speech he gives at the bar, Oswaldo, about like explaining that he's the hangman, and saying like the difference between civilized society and justice and frontier justice. And then like I love that whole little speech of like what's the difference between like justice and frontier justice. Like I just love that little I'm losing the word, like the little speech he gives. I found that all fun. Monologue, yes, thank you. Then what's his name? The R.I.P. who just died. Mr. Michael Manson. He has his nice little thing about like the little back and forth of going home for Christmas to see his mom, and he's like, you don't look like the coming home for Christmas type. And he's like, but anyway, and it's such a funny movie. This movie is so funny. Every time they have to kick the door open, close the door, they all like start just screaming, like, nail it. Screaming. True.
Also, that specific scene you mentioned with the Christmas, that's retroactively funnier once you know that he's like lying, because like he's like, you don't look like the coming home for Christmas type, and he's just left saying like Christmas with Mama is the most magical time. It's like completely fake.
Yeah, what's
so funny in retrospect.
He had a very good fake backstory. Yeah.
His character, like he's a cowpoke. Like his costume is so funny to me with the little red bandana that he's wearing. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
But and then when they get and immediately Sam Jackson is in the stable and is on to Senor Bob. Oh my god, and the reveals that happen of like why he was like Sam Jackson was kind of 2 steps ahead of them for a lot of the time, the things that he picks up on, because he knows Minnie and he's been to the haberdashery before. And then when they all mention like something about that, because Sam Jackson comes in last, and they just go, the N-word in the stable has a letter from Abraham Lincoln, and then it's just like, there's an N-word in the stable with a letter from Abraham Lincoln. Like they just go back and forth, and it's so funny.
I'm sure Dan loves the President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. Like I feel like Dan loves it. Yeah, I can see Dan doing that part.
I was cackling, and again, like 150th time I see it, never gets old. And I didn't pick up on this. In this viewing, I picked up on it because the whole hook of the movie is that one of the big, obviously, you learn pretty quickly, they're all such terrible people. Like you can't root for anyone. And they all don't care about each other, even though they make deals together. It's so cold physically and emotionally. It is such a cold, and now it's a big criticism of the film. It's so cynical. It's so but I don't know. It's so fun to me. Because you kind of are from the perspective roughly of Sam Jackson, or you're kind of on his side. But even though you hear like the terrible things he's done in the past, burning up that prison that he escaped from. But I noticed it's kind of funny. The title of the movie is a little bit of a cheat, right? It's technically 9 of them if you include OP, which is kind of a non-character. But what I noticed on this viewing that also made me fucking laugh is they're not nice to any. There is not a single shred of anyone being really humane towards anyone in a sincere way. There's just a few moments where they are nice to OP, if you catch it. Like,
they're kind of like the nicest to OB in a lot of ways. Yes,
like OP, and I love his name, OP. Like when OP, they make him go out and dump all the guns, and Kurt Russell's like, I kind of sort of trust you, I guess. Like that's the nicest you're gonna get from Kurt Russell. And then when he comes in and he's like, I could have froze to death out there, and he lays by the fire, and then Chris Mannix comes over and he just goes, it's such a sincere way. Are you okay, OP? Like, that's the only level of sincere someone cares about another. And then even Senor Bob, who, again, in hindsight, wants to murder all of them. He goes, do you want some soup, OP? You want some stew? Like, it's the one moment. It's like, why are you being nice? Like, the one guy that is, like, so disposable, like, they show a shred of, like, humanity to, which I found that so funny. But yeah, even though he's literally like the 9th person that I guess wouldn't be included in the Hateful Eight, which I always think is funny.
He's basically Kenny from South Park.
Basically. Did you guys pick up on that it's technically 9 of them, not including Channing Tatum?
Yes. I counted that, and I'm like, I was like, wait a minute. What was I gonna say? Okay.
Well, it's also called the Hateful Eight because it's his 8th movie, but...
Yeah,
of course.
One thing I truly loved about the movie that I feel like a lot of movies just don't do, or maybe they're afraid to, is like, okay, like my best example is when Tatum's character, comes up from the basement. I'm watching and I'm like, Jackson's gonna shoot one of them. Like he's just gonna and he does. He just kills him. I feel like any other movie would have like had him come up and done a cliche where like, haha, I tricked you. There's a third pistol or some bullshit.
Monologue, yeah.
Yeah, and I love how Jackson's character is that. Like when he just does, he's just like, no, like I'm just gonna fucking shoot you. I'm not gonna like, I'm not a. It's very Watchmen. Like I'm not a Republic serial villain. Like I'm not gonna waste time with this stupid bullshit. And like you're subverting expectations or whatever.
The Incredibles, like, you sly dog, you got me monologuing.
Yeah, like I love that. Like Jackson's whole thing is like he keeps doing that, and then he gets shot in the dick, and he acknowledges it. He's just like. He's like I got fucking shot in the dick by them. He's like offended by it, like that they had one over him.
Just him wailing. Oh, my balls are shot. It's so funny.
It's so hammed up. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah. I will.
But no, I'm just saying that was like one thing I love a lot. Like his whole character is like I'm ahead of everybody, but like I just love a character who's like. You're not taking any chances, like for even to let someone betray you because you cut the light. I'm just gonna fucking shoot you.
And then, because right, we get the first incident is Sam Jackson baiting the general into shooting him so he can legally shoot him in self-defense. And of course, right, the whole big monologue of the movie is Sam Jackson explaining to a man how during the war he killed his son, tortured him, and made him suck his cock. And it's presented like an Oscar-winning monologue. And if that is not worth my top 50 of all time, gentlemen, I don't know what is. That is like cinema. It's so I love that whole. I'm like. I every time I watch that
do we think he was telling the truth?
I do.
Do we think that actually happened?
I think he wasn't.
I choose to believe it.
I think he wasn't, but you can believe that it was true. It doesn't matter either way, but yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, because you don't know. Yeah, everyone's just such a fucking liar. Yeah, but no, every time I watch it, I go, motherfucker, I go, 2015, I don't know who won the Oscar, and I don't care. seeing Sam Jackson win an Oscar, like a Best Actor Oscar for a dick-sucking monologue scene would have been the greatest day of my life. I would have made a federal holiday out of it. No, but yeah, that is obviously so great. And then the second,
right.
Yeah. And
I was just gonna say, because you mentioned it, the acting Oscar winners for 2015. For Best Actor, we had Leo in The Revenant. For Actress, we had Brie Larson in The Room. For Supporting Actor, we had Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies. And for Supporting Actress, we had Alicia Vikander for The Danish Girl.
Interesting. Yeah, I was going to say...
Room is very good. I really like Room.
I was going to say, was that the Leo year? And
yeah, it was the Leo year.
And my reaction is, sorry, Leo, get raped by a bear in a different movie. That's going to Sam Jackson. Keep trying, pal. Keep trying. Keep trying, Leo. Give it to Jackson. Maybe another year.
It was also the year where Inarritu proved that he was one of the all-time greats because he went back to back, right? Because the year before that was Birdman. So that was Revenant year.
I love The Revenant. The Revenant's a masterpiece, yeah. But no, yeah, and then obviously the reveal after the coffee poisoning. I don't know how'd you guys feel about the coffee poisoning and how Kurt Russell violently dies in OP? I don't know. I didn't really.
So Dan, you had mentioned it's a murder. You said there's a murder mystery aspect to it. So I thought that like, okay, we're gonna kind of dwell on this longer, and they don't. Like, we do get the whole setup with Sam Jackson lining them all up. Whatever. It's kind of like forces Tatum's character. What's his name? Judy. It forces his hand. So again, like this movie does subvert a lot of expectations in a lot of ways, which I don't mind. So
you're right.
Yeah,
no, you are right though. I did kind of tee it up as a whodunit, but and
yeah, you did.
It's not like an important part of the movie, but it has. I can see why you would have pitched it that way, right? Because with the coffee, and also you spend the entire movie wondering, okay, was Minnie and her crew murdered or weren't they? Like, what happened to them? So I guess a little bit there.
The actual whodunit is kind of short-lived. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And in this sense, Sam Jackson's like a detective character in a whodunit because he's the one asking all the questions and is the one who figures it out in the end, right? So
and how does he reveal? It's so fucking funny how he calls them out. And this was one of my notes where, because again, it's just I had so many notes. I was just writing down quotes from this movie like crazy, because there's so many quotables because Tarantino. But when he has them all against the wall. And he does the whole thing about explaining the stew, and of course, I'm just a kid in a candy store. I'm like, that's right, Sam Jackson. I'm like, you fucking genius. That's right, the stew. You could tell that stew was from Minnie. But
it's not like a whole Charlie stew at all.
That's right. You tell him, Sam. Like, I'm a fucking child. I am a child when it comes to this movie. And then he goes the whole thing, and he goes now. Did you? Because he calls him out about the no hats in the haberdashery to Senor Bob. He's on Senor Bob like a fly on shit, and he goes, "Did you see the sign up in the thing?" And I think he's gonna say like, "Oh, like a sign that says no hats." And he goes, "That sign said two things: no dogs and no Mexicans." Which I was like. Were black people racist against Mexico? I get everyone hates everyone, like in this world, but I was like, but he goes, and do you know why she took that sign down? Because she started letting in dogs. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, cinema. It's so hateful. Dear racist.
But then also that wasn't true because she let in Senor Bob no problem when he came into the bar, when he came into the haberdashery.
I thought about that.
Oh, wow, you're right.
I thought about that. Yeah, no, I thought about that during that scene. I'm like, wait, she's not saying anything. And like everyone is like so pleasant in this scene. Like, they're all going to die and you know it. to whatever. But like I noticed that too, Remington. Like,
oh my
hold
god,
on, is she gonna I was waiting for her to say something about it, like in the movie, to like oh, you're not like, hey, we don't serve your kind here, like, but no, like it never came up. So I was like, okay, that's weird. All right,
you're right. I never even CinemaSins 1.5 star hack fraud. I never even. You're right. I never caught that. I was always worried because he's always in. I actually never even looked it up, but like I don't know why in my head, because I famous like the good and the bad and the ugly. Famously, the Latino character in that movie is not Latino. He's in like brown face, and I was like, and because Senor Bob has like his face covered up for some of the movie, I always think like, please tell me that's an actual like Mexican guy.
It's an actual Mexican actor.
I was like, okay. I was like, please tell me he had the wherewithal.
Demian Bashir,
okay.
Mexican, very Mexican.
Dan, it's okay. And also during the reading, they had a French actor in that role, so the character was also French. So Tarantino will cast you. He'll make your character whatever wherever race you are or whatever. Like,
one of the more egregious examples of this. Have you guys seen West Side Story?
Yes.
A long time ago, yeah.
New and old, yes.
So the original from 1961 or whatever. The actor who plays Bernardo is not Hispanic. Not Puerto Rican.
I think I heard
he is a white Greek man, and if you see him, just like a picture of him as like his normal self, out of makeup, pale, pasty motherfucker, dude. He's like a normal Greek guy, like not even like olive skin, like just a pale Greek guy.
Yeah.
It's really bad, and I'm like, George Chakiris, I think is his name. Look him up. Like it's bad. I saw him in a different movie when he was just like his normal complexion, and I was like I didn't realize, like yeah.
Oh wow! I think I heard that, but I didn't know like they put him in makeup. Like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, like heavy makeup.
Jesus Christ. No, but yeah. So what'd you yeah, so then we get the big reveal of Channing Tatum. I love it because it is, like I said, it's literally, and I can totally concede it is a little cheap screenwriting wise that like, oh, he's just under the floorboards. I do love that it feels like a little bit of a callback to Inglourious Bastards, but in that film it was done so much more like obviously like the Jews under the floor. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah. But
actually, what that reveal reminded me of when we got to really experience Channing Tatum's character is I was like, oh, so this is the blueprint for his performance in Deadpool and Wolverine, isn't it? Because he's also doing a Cajun accent.
I guess.
Yeah.
God, kill me.
I was like, oh no.
I'm about to make a name for myself up in here.
Channing Tatum before he shoots off. It's nuts. I'm about to make a name for myself.
God, kill me. I hate it.
Has someone made an edit of that? I feel like someone should.
No, don't.
That'd be pretty funny.
No, it would be a cancer. Forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, no, I love that Tarantino, like, he likes using mainstream actors. Like, I thought Tatum was very good in this. I like Channing Tatum. Again, because famously, we got that hack annoying fraud Eli Roth in Inglourious Bastard as the Bear Jew, and like in a pretty cool role, and that launched his whole career. Obviously, if you guys probably know, like, famously, that was supposed to be Adam Sandler. But yeah. Yeah.
Well, Eli Roth, okay, but Tarantino is responsible for Eli Roth, Dan, right? They're best friends. Tarantino funds his career, right? He's the reason why all his movies get made, right? So we have to there's some complicity here we're not engaging with.
Do you know it's so funny when Tarantino, he was on, like, I think he was like talking to Bill Maher about like Inglourious Bastards, and he literally says, like, he throws Eli kind of under the bus in that interview. This was like 2 or 3 years ago. He says something like, yeah, I wanted Adam Sandler and he wasn't busy. He was filming like Grown Ups 3D or some shit. I don't know. And then he goes, and then like he says someone else he tried to get, and then they couldn't. He's like, and then I got Eli Roth, and he goes,
I think it was Click.
Oh, was it? Yeah. And then he
Adam Sandler. I feel like it was Click. I might have read that.
Yeah. And then he goes, and then he literally says like, all the best Jews were taken, so I was stuck with Eli Roth. So it's like he literally just sandbags him and goes, but no. So
he's saying I want a star, so I settled for my stupid best friend. Like that's like
that probably like strokes my ego, so that's probably why like I keep him around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but
Eli Roth's film Thanksgiving comes from Death Proof.
I did like Thanksgiving, but
I fucking hated Thanksgiving, but that's beside the
point. But anyway.
Well, no. So speaking of what could have been, like, did you guys read that Jennifer Lawrence was going to portray Daisy Donahue first?
Yes,
I did know
that. Would have been.
I could totally
very interesting.
I could totally see that.
Like,
I think it works better with having an older actress, though. I like Jennifer Jason Leigh's.
The thing with if it was J Law, it would have made the criticisms of the character, not of JJL's performance, but of the character, even more potent. I think by having a younger woman, because again, the whole character is just about getting the snot beaten out of you by Kurt Russell, and then violently hanged at the end. Like,
who do you think? Who do you
yeah.
think Viggo Mortensen was in discussion about playing? Because he was in discussions too.
Michael Madsen, maybe.
I thought I could see him playing. I don't know. Was this before Kurt Russell was cast?
Could have been. Yeah, I could see that.
I could see that or Goggins' character. Personally,
I haven't seen enough of his movies, but Mortensen is not like
over the
top guy.
No, that's true.
Like
maybe Russell's character,
or
Madsen. I could see him play Michael Madsen's character, but Tarantino cast Madsen often. Like he's been like 80% of his movies. I was looking at how he's in most of them. He's in Hollywood. He's in Django. Like he's just like one of his favorites. Like actors to play with, or was. He ripped to him. But.
What'd you guys think of Channing? Did you guys know that he was in the movie? Did you remember that he was in the credits? And
no, I had a Channing Tatum jump scare in the opening credits.
So I knew he was going in. I knew he was in the movie because I read who was in the cast. And then I forgot that he was in the movie, and then he showed up again. I was like, "Oh yeah, he is in the movie." I guess I should have been counting on him to show up. Stupid me, like being surprised. And I shouldn't have been surprised about.
Oh no, Remington! The whole I just did not. If I read it before in my life, I just did not remember. So when the opening credits, I was like Channing Tatum, and then I'm like, when the fuck does he show up? So I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, when the fuck does Channing Tatum show up?
Yeah.
No, stupid me. I actually spent like the first 20 minutes being like, when's Leo gonna be here?
Yeah.
Where's Leo?
Do we like Channing Tatum? I actually like him. I don't think he's bad. I enjoy his performances.
I thought he was great.
Like, I don't love or hate him. I think he's fine.
It's a little bit it's a little bit of stunt casting of like a big name that's more in mainstream movies, and I think he gives a great performance because, again, I think with the dialogue and if you're just good enough to chew on it, similar to like you get cast in a Wes Anderson movie, but Tarantino likes to be cute. He likes to be cool. Like I could totally see him wanting to do like, what if the Bear Jew was Adam Sandler, and he gives a really good performance because, as we've seen, I mean, later he's capable of that in the right role. Like Uncut Gems or whatever, or Punch Drunk Love. So he likes to be cute. Like, Tarantino, he's a fucking dork. He likes to think he's being cute. And I think it is cute. It's like, but
sure.
He's
I enjoy it.
He wants
you
to
know. I think Tatum's someone who, yeah. No, I get it. Like, and besides the whole, 21 Jump Street of it all. Like, I think Tatum is at least like the kind of actor who just shows up. He's like, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to give it my 100%. I'm not here to goof around. Like, this is work, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And did you like Blink Twice?
Hated it. I thought it was one of the worst movies of last year.
Well, that's Channing Tatum movies, so there you go. Fucking deal with it.
Well, that's his movies, though, his choices. And he was dating that he couldn't resist Zoe Kravitz, and they already broke up. In real life.
But does he star in that? Like, is that what he stars in?
Yeah, he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no, I generally like Channing Tatum. I mean, yeah, like his movie choices are not great. But no, I thought he was great.
Again, I respect someone who shows up and at least does their job. Like I never get the vibe that he's just there for like a paycheck. Except did he do Snake Eyes? Was that him? Was he G.I. Joe? He was G.I. Joe, and they like fucked him in the second one because he dies at the beginning, and like that was the one time where he was just like, I don't want to do this. Then
was Channing Tatum the guy in the White House Down movie?
Probably.
He was Step Up movies was his claim to fame.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? White House Down.
Like,
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, but...
It was like summer 2013 apparently.
Oh,
okay. Yes, it was him. Him and Jamie Foxx.
Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah,
Jamie Foxx.
Him and Jamie Foxx.
But yeah,
it sounds like it sounds like maybe like an attempt to launch like an action star career. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that kind of written all over his career? Could be action star.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like Aaron Taylor Johnson. Except Aaron Taylor Johnson has shown that he could do better roles, and he should stop trying to be an action star.
Yeah, he should not do. Except he should give the people what they want, which is Kraven the Hunter 2.
Exactly. Fund it.
But anyway,
wait, what else did he do recently? Remington? He's in just came out.
He's in 28 Days Lit. 28 years later.
Yeah.
28 years later.
Is he good in that? I watched it.
Yeah.
Did you guys enjoy it?
He's pretty good.
Okay. Cool.
I think he's better in Nosferatu, but he's good in 28 Years Later.
I really enjoyed him in Nosferatu. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, like you can do other roles. Like, I get like you have like the face and physique to be an action star, but it's not gonna happen for you. It's okay because you can still do other roles well.
I think he looks like Brandon Gurney, and Brandon Gurney looks like him.
That's funny. And Marvel fucked him over with the rights fucked him over. When he got that Quicksilver, he probably thought like, this is my chance, and it's like, nobody, you picked the worst character because they don't really own him.
I mean, it could also be like, what roles is he getting offered? I mean, if you're a handsome white guy, like
sure,
those are.
It could also be the roles.
How many? Yeah. If Tarantino or Scorsese are knocking at your door, like your Scorsese, your Tarantino, your Spielberg, you could pick from any other mainstream white guy. Like,
there's some directors where like you tell your agent like, hey, if this guy fucking calls me, you say yes. I don't care what it is.
But they have a lot to pick from. So so it could just be that But yeah, anyway. I
get it. Like I'm sure. I'm sure if you were an actor, you tell your agent like, if Tarantino ever fucking calls, you say yes. I don't care what it is.
I will say as many N-words as I have to. I will die.
Like for me, that would be like for me, that'd be James Gunn, and I got to go right. I'd tell them like, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's for like a cameo. You say yes, I will be there.
Yeah.
Dan's like, I'll say the N-word 1,000 times if it means making this Tarantino movie.
His audition was just him saying the N-word for 3 minutes straight into the camera, hard R, and he's like, "You got the job, kid."
He's like, hired. He's like,
Tarantino's like, that wasn't even. Tarantino's like, those weren't even the sides, but I still hired him.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any more thoughts on this before Dan tells us what his movie is?
Yeah, it's a little late, Dan. We should probably wrap it
up. I'm pretty much all good with everything. Final thoughts. No, I just, again, I totally understand the criticisms. I totally understand people being turned off by it for certain things. It's a very cold, very cynical movie. As we discussed, doesn't really scratch the surface.
Kind of nihilist.
But it's a movie made for me. This is a perfect movie to like. Tarantino is just my scope of what captures my taste and what I love in movies: the comedy, the over the top, the dialogue, to chew on, the environments, the tension. So this is.
Is this your favorite Tarantino, or is that still Pulp Fiction?
Pulp Fiction is my favorite movie ever.
Oh, okay.
This is still pretty high up. I think I would put Inglourious Bastards number 2, Kill Bill Volume 1 number 3. This might be 4. I don't know. But I don't know. This is easily my
interesting over Reservoir Dogs. But okay, fair enough.
Probably Reservoir Dogs.
I really love Reservoir Dogs.
I love all of his movies. I would just say, if you guys ever haven't, or you said you haven't seen, you guys kept talking about Tarantino and like how he becomes Tarantino. All film nerds, all they all know is, oh, this is a very popular take. Like, do you know, like, actually Jackie Brown is actually Tarantino's best movie because it's the most mature. That's a very...
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched that or Death Proof. So
that is very considered Tarantino's most mature movie, and it is. It doesn't go full Tarantino, and it's a great movie.
That's an adaptation of a book, though, which is interesting.
Yes. Yeah. People will always, you'll hear that as a very, I would say, just check out Jackie Brown, and it's great. I love it too.
Yeah, but I do want to watch it. Yeah.
People will quote that. That's a very common, like, actually, like, Jackie Brown is the best Tarantino movie because it's the most mature. That's a very common sentiment. But
I mean, it's Pulp Fiction. It just is. Like, I love Kill Bill Volume 1, but it's Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. So, but no, I just think this movie's very rewatchable. I throw it on all the time. So yeah. And, so.
Fair enough.
Anyway, great movie. 10 out of 10. Love it. Easy 10 out of 10.
No.
Yeah.
I liked it. I didn't love it. And I think it has serious problems. And for me, it's lower tier Tarantino. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, which I think is a very respectable score.
Fair enough.
Fair.
I don't want to say I loved it. I really liked it, especially in the context it exists in. Like, again, before being like the movie he did right before Hollywood, which is like I consider Hollywood to Tarantino what the French Dispatch is to Wes Anderson. Like, it's a very like, oh, this is just them fully indulging themselves and like, like taking a big bag of it's Remington. It's Saw Gerrera fucking huffing gasoline fumes to just like be at full power for himself. Like, I wish Dan knew what I was talking about.
I wish Dan knew what I know.
Yeah, no, Dan. They explain what he's huffing the entire time. It's so funny. It's so funny. and he gives this whole like Marxist like speech while he's like high. It's so funny.
Is that why he decided like, no, you guys go. I'll stay here. I'm done fighting. Like, what? You can just
like
go.
Tony. I think Gilroy talked about how he's just like, yeah, I just wanted to explain why the fuck he was huffing like some shit the entire movie. So
he does drugs because it makes him feel like, I don't know, like a revolutionary, basically. Like he's heroic.
Yeah. But I'm saying like the reason they included that is because like, I think Gilroy was just kind of like, I'm just gonna explain why the fuck he's doing that in Rogue One. Like. He felt compelled to explain that one aspect of Rogue One, which is actually so inconsequential. Anyway,
and really, he should have explained how Saw Gerrera meets Borgullet.
Yes, I wish they did. I truly wish they had explained how he got Gorbullet, but whatever. Borgullet, we'll get there. How does he know? And then. We can talk about Star Wars another day because I have a lot of thoughts on boring. Anyway, I really liked it, but like, I'm such a sucker for Tarantino too. Like, I will give it a 4. I did like it more than Remington liked it. It's not as high as like Kill Bill Volume 1 or like Reservoir Dogs for me, but like, I'm like, yeah, this is still Tarantino. Like, it was a fun ride to me, and like the stuff that worked for me really worked for me. I think oddly enough for me, the pacing was maybe like my weakest part. I got because it's all build up in an extent. But once you hit that third act, like drop, like I'm like, great, I'm back in it, and I love all the stagecoach setup, and I appreciate the middle section. Like, okay, this is a play, fine, I appreciate that for what it is, and I love Sam Jackson. And I love the cast is great, and like for me, like again, my favorite part of it is just like color. I can't talk about enough how much I hate color in modern movies. It's so just like. Yeah. Is it saturated? What I'm looking for. Like these
saturated, like everything's so yeah.
It's just like bland. And this movie had color, and I'm like, fucking thank you. And you just don't see that anymore. Why don't you see that anymore? Anyway,
when Sam Jackson raises his arms, you see bright yellow.
I'll just say for the record, my favorite is Pulp Fiction, though Kill Bill Volume 1 is close for me.
I have a similar where Kill Bill Volume 1 is my favorite, but I do think Pulp Fiction is his best movie. So,
sure.
Just Volume 1 just works on every level for me. It's incredible. So anyway. Okay, cool. Remington, the guy who plays Bill, and what else is he in? He's so good in Kill Bill. I don't think
David Carradine, dude.
What else is he in? Like, what should I watch? Because I love him in Kill Bill, but
he did so he's best known. He's part of the Carradine acting family. That's like a whole acting dynasty. But B, he's best known for in this like the 60s and 70s and the 80s doing like a bunch of he did some westerns, but a lot of kung fu, martial arts movies. That's specifically why it hits so hard that he's in Kill Bill, So yeah, he did a lot of stuff like that, like western, like pulpy, schlocky stuff that Dan would love. Is what he's known for in the 70s and 80s. Sure. I can't think of one off the top of my head. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff from back in the day. He's dead, actually. He died in the 2000s.
I was gonna say, he passed away
notorious. He died accidentally. He died notoriously in an autoerotic asphyxiation incident.
Oh,
he was found in a hotel room. Yes,
he went the way of Corduroy Jackson.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Remington's gonna understand that reference, but Dan's not gonna.
Legend. But
oh wow, okay, I didn't know that. But yeah, that's a movie when I watch it, I'm like, he's so fucking good, and I'm just not well versed enough in movie history to know what else he's in.
His father is John Carradine, who was a very well known Western actor in the classical Hollywood era, and his brothers are Keith Carradine, who he is a character actor. He's played a lot of well known villains in various things. And also, I believe his other brother was the dad in some sick Disney Channel show. Let me double check that real quick.
I'm looking how David Carradine's well known for playing Kwai Chang Caine. Remington, was this man just white as all hell? Because I'm looking at his pictures. It's a white man.
Yes.
And it's so good. Oh, that's very indicative of the era, though. That's so funny.
His other brother, Robert Carradine, is the main character in Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, he's in the Scorsese. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
He's in Boxcar
Bertha. What was the show I was thinking of? Yes, he's the dad in Lizzie McGuire, his brother.
Okay.
Huh. Look at that. All right.
It's so funny. I feel like this movie was my pick. One that, and just
he attempted to dodge the draft. Sorry, I'm reading about him now. Anyway,
in case you guys were just curious, the extended series that was released on Netflix, I've watched that a couple times too.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's basically the same movie. Pretty much it's been a while, but the chapters are just broken up into episodes. So it's
Dan, I mean, no, I don't. Sorry, keep going, because I was going to ask about that.
The only real difference that I remember is the flashback scene with Tatum. That whole flashback sequence is extended. That's a longer sequence. That's the main difference from what I remember.
I quickly, because when I saw those 4 episodes, I'm like, oh, it's probably just the chapters broken up into episodes, and it is. And I mean, I think chapter 1 or 2, they're not very long, but then I saw that the episodes are 50 minutes each, and I'm sitting there okay, each chapter is significantly longer than it is in the theatrical cut. So
there's some more.
I'm very curious, how much more can you add to this?
There's the only thing I remember is that flashback sequence is longer. That's the main difference I remember. That's it. There's really I think notably more.
Domingue has a secret. It seems way longer in the chapter, in the Netflix.
It's just more banter. I don't know how much different it is. You get the main. There's not much more. There's not much more. But yeah.
Sure, the theatrical cut is a well cut. This is all you need. Yeah.
But
I'm gonna watch it anyway. I don't know.
All right, Dan, what's your pick?
So all right, so pitch time for my pick. So I really always go back and forth with trying to change it up. I try to switch up the era. I try to switch up the genre, and I kind of try to switch up. Number one, the big thing I look for is, has Remington seen it? And again,
no, literally me too.
And the problem is, and I looked this up for a couple of these that I was going to do. It's not that you have just seen it. It's that you've seen it within this month. So that's always a fucking problem. But no,
Remington, you have to stop watching so many movies, or just think is this gonna come up on the pod?
So honestly, right now I've slowed down in my movie consumption because I got back into Doctor Who, so I'm watching all these like classic Doctor Who episodes. Also, I'm doing a How I Met Your Mother rewatch, which is like a roller coaster.
Fun.
I do.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Anyway.
I do get a lot of like, I'll watch a movie that I haven't seen before, and I'll be like, "Fuck, that would have been a good Eyes Wide Watch Club." But I mean, not that we can't do that. I kind of try to do stuff. So I haven't seen this movie. The conceit is, it is a very recent movie, though. That I
set it up the way Remington and I usually do setups. Dan, come on.
I didn't want to do it, but so anyway, so this is a movie from a guy who's a writer-director. But this man is much more known for being a writer. And the difference is, this is a very... Hateful Eight was a very pulpy, very action-y movie. We just did Superman. We're going to auteur, abstract, substance-full movie. We're going artsy-fartsy with this one, folks. So that's
Once Upon a Time in Soho, whatever it's called.
That's the pivot. So, yeah, this guy is responsible for writing my third favorite movie of all time. Don't look it up, Gene, you fucker.
No, I'm like, I've seen your letterbox. I'm like, wait, what is Dan's third favorite movie?
So anyway, this is one of the few films. This is his it's his most recent directed film that I haven't seen yet, and it's been on my mind a lot because I think it has one of the best movie titles I've ever heard. Just very clever. So what we are going to be watching, this is, I'll say, it is from director and writer Charlie Kaufman. We are going to be watching the 2020 film I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
Okay.
Oh, I've never watched this.
Yeah,
this has been on my list for a minute, so I'm down.
This was on Netflix, right?
Netflix original.
Yes. Yes, I remember when this came out.
Jesse Buckley, right?
Jesse Plemons and maybe Jesse Buckley. Yeah.
So Dan, you haven't watched this?
Nope, haven't seen it.
No,
I'm surprised you haven't. Okay.
I will say I don't. So you guys haven't really seen a lot. I don't think Remington has seen Eternal Sunshine. My third.
I haven't seen any Kaufman movies. I'm woefully underversed.
We're in for a treat. Now, this is his most recent one. Most people love it. I've seen some detractors. Some people hate it. Schenectady, New York is one that some of his movies like Anomalisa and Schenectady is more like I admire them more than I like them. Being John Malkovich and Eternal Sunshine are like my top of all time, like some of the most profound, beautiful movies that make me cry.
What about
Eternal Sunshine is a beautiful fucking
What about
movie.
Adaptation?
It didn't click with me the first time I saw it.
That's the Nick Cage one. He got his Oscar.
I know.
Oh no, he didn't get an Oscar. He got nominated for it, but yeah.
I know. That didn't click with me.
Adaptation.
So anyway,
Adaptation. Yeah.
A Nick Cage movie didn't click with Dan. That's interesting.
So
Okay.
not every one of his movies are like super like click with you. So I'm so curious to see what my reaction and what our reaction is going to be to this movie. So 2020. I'm thinking of ending things.
Yeah.
And if you search it,
I kind of want to watch.
If you search it on
Schenectady.
If you search it on YouTube, please make sure you put movie after the title because it'll show up like a suicide hotline. If you
God. No, isn't it? It's on Netflix, Dan, isn't it? It was a Netflix original, wasn't it?
No, yes, but I was just looking up the trailer, like,
Oh, wait. Did you look up I'm Thinking of Ending Things and like YouTube was like, don't kill yourself. Call this number.
Yes, it does that, yeah.
Oh, no, I need to see like all his movies. I was hoping to see before the year ends Eternal Sunshine and Anomalisa. I've been wanting to see both Eternal Sunshine and Schenectady for like and Being John Malkovich, honestly.
Being John Malkovich and Eternal Sunshine, they make me cry. Like they are Eternal
Sunshine is devastating.
Is my third favorite movie of all time. I think it is the greatest love story ever told. But we
have to see Charlie Kaufman last year had a kids movie that he did.
I know, War in the Dark. No one cares.
No one knows about.
I don't know. I guess it was.
I know. Pepper Ridge Farms remembers.
I think was that a paycheck for him? I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, it's his Happy Feet.
But yeah.
He will make Fury Road next. Is what I'm saying.
George Miller, I will kill myself if they make me do Happy Feet 3.
But if we're looking for like some deeply thoughtful, thought-provoking, like profound movies, this is the guy. And I don't know if this is going to be the one, but we'll go on that journey together, folks. Like and subscribe.
I'm down.
I'm very curious about Synecdoche because Philip Seymour Hoffman is incredible.
One of his best performances, apparently, of like all time.
And this is like a fun thing. I hate Schenectady in New York. I think it's the bleakest fucking city. It's so bad. It's so bleak. I just hate that city so much. It's so bleak.
Why?
It's so fucking bleak and gray. It's like depressing to be there.
Oh, it's fine.
It's also
no, it's not. It sucks ass.
It's very. It's a very like. Well,
There's a casino.
It's very. It's
a nice train station.
It's his most abstract. I can totally see like that's a movie where I admire more than I enjoy watching. You know, it's one of those. So, anyway,
good pick. I'm excited for this, Dan.
Yeah, no. Again, I was a little mad because I was like, do I really want to go with another like 2020? But yeah,
this has been on my 2020 list for like a minute. So I'm ready to like pop the floor.
I'm glad you picked it too because we had we had Network, Donnerka, and American Graffiti. Like we had like three like kind of like 70s movies back to back, right?
Donnerka is 80s. Also,
whatever.
2000s.
Yeah, I wanted to go. I was gonna go to like the 60s or something, but I was like, you know.
No, I'm saying we had a string of like 20th
It's okay, Dan.
movies.
You doing a 21st century movie makes it more justifiable for me to do my pick afterwards.
Exactly.
So.
Hey, and SEO, we got to pump up the numbers. More recent.
That's kind of why I picked.
Next movie, we're gonna watch Thunderbolts.
Hateful 8 as well. That's kind of like Hateful 8 too, because I'm like, right, we just had a string of like 70s and 80s movies. I got to put something more recent, and I've never seen this.
No, you guys can do whatever you want. Yeah,
we're on the same wavelength. It's good to jump around. It's good. I can't wait for Remington to have us watch something made like the fucking 40s. But
and like I said, I picked Heat. I love Heat. Like I could, if you just want to expose us
that
to
was
movies
really cool.
You love, like.
That was fun, and ever since watching it, I've seen so much love for it on Twitter. People just fucking love Heat so much.
There's so many movies where it's like I want to have Gene watch this, but anyway.
Listen, you watched Snatched. You watched Snatched, and I appreciate that you watched it.
Let's go to Gene's house and watch Synecdoche, New York.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, please do, because I need to hate in the city.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for another beautiful episode. Like and subscribe, and you can find the boys on Twitter. All right. Play us out, Gene.
I don't know.
As Sam Jackson would say.
Play me out, Johnny.
You're starting to see pitches now, ain't you?